Kanina kulugani sawa yakoni mashaki bijere salambi wasulu kanina kuluhibu badu ya jama mashaki bijere salambi wasulu salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum alaikum salam Bifako salam dema binadi peja kwani na kan pelet ma bifako salam dema binadi pelet ya kwani na kan shoko tatu ma bifako salam dema binadi shoko ya kwani salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum alaikum salam. Peace is all we need in our families. In our country, salam ya wuna dere. Peace is Sudan. Geni sawa, geni sawa, uye. Jeran, geni sawa, sabi masabi, geni sawa, uye. Gebila, geni sawa, bele kabele, geni sawa, uye. Salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum.
Morris, alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Waiting for a few more. Please go ahead, share it. We'll start soon. If you don't mind, go ahead, share it. We'll start soon. Waiting for a few more to tune in. Go ahead, help us share it, please. John, Yes, yes, thank you. Please help us share it. Share it. We will start soon. We are going to start soon. Hi, Sister Nyakorden. Help us share it, please. We will start soon. Help us by sharing it, please. We'll start soon. Very soon I'm going to start. Meanwhile, go ahead, share it. Hello, Grace Ajawin. How are you and how's the children? Good to hear, good to hear. Ikala hajatani Ikala hajatani Ikala hajatani Ikala hajatani Kusara dele iti mama Hanana Lasso, good evening to you. I'm doing great. Please help us share it, please. One more song, then we will start. If you don't mind, go ahead, share it with friends. We are going to start soon, very soon. One more song, and then we'll start with the song. Please help me by sharing it. After this song, we will start. Kaparata Yesu, Angelina Mashi Legitam. Dunia Kaparata Yesu, Matre Jawara Angelina Mashi Legitam. Dunia Kaparata Yesu, Matre Jawara Angelina Mashi Legitam. Oh, Kaparata Yesu, Matre Jawara Angelina Mashi Legitam. Kaparata Yesu, Atari Gawara Angelina Mashi Legitam. Oh, Kaparata Yesu, Angelina Mashi Legitam. Kaparata Yesu, Angelina Mashi Legitam. Oh, Kaparata Yesu, Angelina Mashi. After this song, we'll start. Please help us by sharing it. We will start soon. Kaparata Yesu, Angelina Mashi Legitam. Almost done. All right. Let's go ahead and start our show. Let me thank each and every one of you guys. What an awesome to see all of you guys here, especially with today's show. Let me thank people that came in on time. Or let me see what we have here. Brother Morris says good evening and good evening to you as well. Good to see you, Brother Morris. What an awesome to see you. It's another day, another dollar. Good to see you in a different topic. I'm glad to see you today, and I hope that we are going to have people to join us. Please feel free to come and join us. That will be great. John, we have John. Thank you, John, Dicky, Helen. Good to see you. You're welcome to this platform. And also we have Sister Nyako to say hi, Brother Guy Lam. How are you? I salute you and good to see you. Again, we have Sister Grace Ajawin. She said, hello, hello, how are you? How's the children's? I hope everybody's doing great and good to see you as always. We have Sister Helena. What's up, brother? How are you doing? Good evening and good evening to you as well. Hanan Lasso. Good to see you all. We have this important topic about uh, people that are addicted to the phone. As we all know, that people become addicted to social media. And now we notice that children are our future, but at the same time, children become addicted to porn, which means that is it our fault as parents or is it their fault? Our shows usually on Tuesdays and Thursday, and I'm so honored to see all of you guys. I'm so grateful to see all of you guys. This is a weekly episode, and I hope that to hear your point of view, what can you tell us when children's are now there's a big gap between us and our children, and the gap is children become addicted to their phone, and parents also they become addicted to their phone. But whose fault is that, if I may ask? You may think that you are doing the right thing, but yet you are not. You know, and that's why we need to come and analyze and see. I will drop the link now so that we can all discuss and share together our thoughts and see. Let me hear your point of view. What do you want to tell us, especially when it comes to these addictions, phone addictions, and children? Of course, when they see their parents are addicted to their phones, what they will do, they will follow the same instructions. They will follow what we do, and that's something that we have to open our eyes when it's something that we have to acknowledge that it's not just children by themselves, but it's because we are the cause of it. The more we spend time with them and put the phone away, the better our relationship will be with our children. But whenever we allow us as parents talking or just uh, being in our phones for hours and hours, because those devices you will not feel the time, and that's the trick here. The time will fly without you knowing that the time is going fast. Therefore, it is a problem. It is us that cause, or we are the cause of all this. Angelina James, how are you? I'm doing great. Long time indeed. Good to see you, and good to see you with this show, Family Common Sense Show, where you drop your sense. So I hope to hear from all of you guys tonight. Let's acknowledge if it's our fault, then what are we supposed to do as parents? Now our children, the only person they rely on, the only person they know the best is the phone. The only person they relies on, or the only person they know, or the only device become their phone. So is it our fault as parents, or is it children's fault? Because if you set up rules in your house, I'm sure you're supposed to have rules and regulations. Then all these rules or regulations supposed to apply to every one of your children. But when you allow them to do whatever they want, yes, of course, we will have issue. And the word addictions, it comes to when you do the same things over and over, day after day after day after days, and at the same time you're accumulating hours after hours. So which means you will see a child logging in their phone or sitting on the device, let's say from 11 in the morning till 11 at night. So even imagine the picture of the screen. They have issues, right? That's why you will see children. They will see the children in the early age are wearing glasses. It's because of the screens that they're using on the device and the lights. It causes damages in their eyes. And that's why sometimes we are saying that why our children are wearing glasses in the early age, and you as parents have not. Even in Sudan, I remember, or in Egypt, people watched TV, not all the time, but you watch. There's certain time that you use to or to watch TV. But the children now watching TV, they don't watch TV anymore. The device become everything in their life. The device become everything in their life, which means they spend more time there. They can log into YouTube and watch whatever they want. They can log into Facebook and do whatever they want. Instagram and etc. There's so much uh, media that children are well known and then they go there and do their own thing there, right? But whose fault is that? And now we come and blame that, you know what, you working 6 days, 5 days a week. You don't have quality time with your kids, with your kiddo. And now when tragedy come, you're going to regret because we have seen our children now become out of control, especially because they have no connections with their parents whatsoever. You will see the only connection they have is social media. So they will meet with group of people that are not disciplined. Guess what? In a short time, they will manipulate and they will play with your child's mind. Then your child will join the gangster or join the things that they see on social media. So we have to be careful and we have to look what our children are doing. Who are they communicating with? Who are they talking to? Who are they chatting with? You know? So all these you must know as parents to avoid any conflicts, to even make sure that your child is safe in whatever environment that they're living in, especially when they reach age of middle school and and higher, middle school to high school, etc. It is we have to admit it is our fault because we don't give time for them. Another thing that I want to mention, when you keeping your child busy with activities, any sport that you can think of, whatever they like, that will limit the time that they will spend on social media. So the more you keep them active, keep them with their activities, the more you keep them busy with the basketball, volleyball, whatever sport they like, and when they come home, they will become tired. And when they come home tired, what they will do, they will not have time to even spend on their phone. Of course, they can log in for a few minutes, but that's it. Because they will come tired, they will focus on doing their homework, etc. So, to be honest, it is us that are cause of all these things that happen in our children's life, especially when they commit suicide, when they join the gangster, when they do things that are not appropriate. And now we are blaming our children. Our children are not, they are victims of all this because we did not form strategy to help them. We did not form a ways that they can direct or they can follow. And that's why when they become lonely with no instructions in their life, that's why we see them, they get lost. So phone addictions, is it families are the cause or the children's are the one? Of course, all of us, we are addicted to social media, and social media become a chaos to most of us. When people are on their break from work, in a state of spending that 15 minutes to check on the kiddos and to see how was their day, whether they have done their homework, and etc. What they will do, they will log in on the social media to see what's going on in social media, to see what's new on Facebook, rather than calling the kids and get to interact with them. You do what? You go check what's new on social media. Yet your kids are still on their phone at home. So we have to admit that it is our fault as parents. We have to agree and admit that when it comes to phone addiction, it is us as parents. We are the one that more addicted than our children. Because if you show them the way that is supposed to go, the way that is supposed to work, when you set up rules for them in their houses or in your houses, guess what? They will reduce the time that they're supposed to spend on social media, right? So we have a work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And yet our children are getting lost. And yet we are saying that things are not going accordingly. Yet, yes, we say that we need help. How do you seek help if you're not humbling yourself and allowing that you have done wrong? And that's the spirit of dignity that I'm talking about. We as Genovine, we have the spirit of dignity, which means that we never acknowledge our mistakes. We never humble ourselves to say that, you know what, I have done wrong. And that's the issue here. Nobody was formed, nobody was born perfectly, but we all are learning from one another. In order for you to learn, you must humble yourself, then see how other people are living their own life. It doesn't mean that when you don't know something, it does not mean that you're weak. It means that there's going to be a time that you will learn. And people that are willing to learn, eventually they will learn. So many people, they with their dignity, they will show other people that, you know what, I don't need your help. I got all this. I got it. I got this, man. But in real life, there's zero. They have nothing to offer. The more if you never humble yourself and accept your guilt that you have done wrong, then your life will never improve. In other words, your life will not go up. And that's the thing that I notice from our people. We are not good when it comes to acknowledging that I've done wrong. The spirit of dignity will always block you from convincing and saying that, you know what, I've done wrong. And that's wrong in most part. And that's why there's so many things that bother us in diaspora, but only few that are willing to learn, you will see their life is improving. Only few that accept their guilt, and you will see their life has shifted. So, to your point of view, you have seen your children's 24 hours, even on weekend, on their phone. If you really set up rules for them, if you set up rules and regulations, do you think do you think that they will not follow your rules? Do you think that you will not have quality time with them rather than them spending more time on social media on their phones? And that's the mistake that I'm talking about. And that's the problem that I'm talking about. Period. The more time you allow your children to spend on social media, the less time you will get to know them. Let me repeat. The more time your children spend time on social media or on their phones or on their device, the less time you will get to know your children. Talking about emotionally, you know, about things that they go through, about things that they're facing on a school, etc. Then when a child wants to commit a suicide, there's no way for you to know to get to know them because there's a big gap between you and them. There's a big gap between you and your loved one, between you and your children, because you have not break the boundary that between you and your children, right? So unless you set up rules and regulations on your own houses, then the gap, the wall will still going to be there. The wall will still going to be there until when you officially break it. How do we break it? How do we break the wall that is between us and our children? Until we humble ourselves, until we notice that we have wronged our children, then the wall will never be broken. Until we analyze that, you know what, those devices will not take us anywhere. Until we figure out that it's a waste of time that I spend 10 hours on social media, on my phone, and I spend zero time with my children. You see? And this is the gap that I'm talking about. Until you convince yourself that, you know what, I have to change my lifestyle. There's something need to be changed, but guess what? You are the one going to change it first. Then from there, other people will learn from you. Then from there, your children will learn from you. Be an example to your children, which means the more you put your phone away when you're talking to them, the more they will observe and see from you. Then they will learn something from you. That's what I'm talking about here. But if you're telling them, kids, put your phone away, and you are the one still on your phone, it does not make sense to them. It does not even click in their mind because you are saying something, you're telling them to do something, and yet you have not showed them an example of how to live or how to put the phone away. So, if you want your children to change, you must live by example. You must accept the fact that I am the one or you are the one supposed to change first. Then from there, they will learn and they will observe something from you. They will learn and they will observe something from you. So you are the one that's supposed to show the first example, then they will follow. So now let's go back to whose fault is that? Whose fault when it comes to spending more time on social media? I've given you an example. I've given you an example of why do we spend more time. I've given an example of what needs to be done. I've given an example according to uh, things that we always do on social media. Don't spend more time on social media rather than spending time with the children. Because the time that you will lose, you will never gain it back, right? The time that you will lose, you will never find it back again. So let's acknowledge that it is us that we have to do something about it. It is us that we have to do something about it. So, what I urge you to do is we must humble ourselves and we must accept that some things need to be changed, and change always start from you. You have to accept your guilt and you have to acknowledge that we have to do some changes in our life. Of course, you know your children better than anybody else. Of course, you know the attitude, the way they grow up, because not all the children have the same ways when they grow up. Some are hyper and some are quiet. In every family, the children are not the same. Some of them, you will see them, they're hyper. Some of them, they're quiet. Some of them, they're not talkative. You will see them, they just want to be lonely. They want to be private. They want to spend time with their own. It does not mean that there's something wrong with them, but we all create it differently. But for you, if you are blessed with four, five, six children, 10, uh, you're supposed to know them, not just by their name, but you're supposed to know each and every one of them by their attitudes and by their behaviors, the things they do, whether they're smart, the classes, check on their grades, whether they're doing well on their school. When they come from school, monitor them. Did they do their homework? Monitor them. Did they clean their clothes? Monitor them. Did they have friends? Monitor them. When they eat, did they clean the dishes after they finish eating? Monitor them. Whenever they take shower, they take shower on daily basis or every other day? So some stuff you will know your children by the things they do, their habits, things that they like to do in their spare time or when they come from home. What what do they like? So if you're blessed with five or four of them, it is you that will come and say, you know what, my child like this and this and this and this and this and this. You don't want your child to express themselves what they do like and what they don't like. Your child will also be proud of you when they sees you as father and as mother. That, well, I'm proud of my dad because my dad knows me very well. He knows whenever I'm mad. He knows whenever I'm sad. He knows whenever I'm hyper, and etc. There's so many things. Each child or each individuals have their own characters. Each of our children, they have their own characters, and they all have a belief system. And this belief system is totally different from one to another. Every child have their own belief system, and their belief system is totally different from one to another. And each child have their own ways when it comes to attitude. The word attitude is totally different from one to another. The spirit of jealousy are totally different from one to another. The spirit of understanding are totally different from one to another. The spirit of being friendly toward their own siblings and also toward their own friends at school or toward the people in the community. So each and every one of your children, you must know them, not just by name, but also by the attitudes and the things they do in the community, and the things they do in their houses, and the things they do in their small territory. It is you as parents that has to know all this. But if I may ask, do you really, if I ask, do you really, can you express and tell us how much you care about your children? What do you know about them, etc.? The answer is so many of us will fail and will say, not really. Why? Because the device that I'm carrying has even took my time. The device that I'm carrying has taken all my time, which means I have no connections with my kiddo. You see where I'm trying to link? The device have taken your time, and you don't know when your children even when was the last time they took shower. You have no clue. When was the last time they changed their clothes? You have no clue. When was the last time they have changed their sheet in their bed, you have no clue. When was the last time they interact with their siblings? You have no clue. Why? Because this device become first priority in your life. Your device become your first priority in life, which means we have to acknowledge that. So it's parents' problem. Thank you. Tim mentioned it is parents that have a problems. And those are the things that we have to think about it carefully. And yet we are saying that my kids are okay as long they are home, as long they're staying home and they're in devices. You have no clue what are they doing in that devices. You have no clue what are they watching in those small devices. You have no clue who are they chatting with in that small devices. You have no clue. Maybe somebody's they've been bowling or something. Somebody's giving them hard time. You have no clue. Well, because you are away, far away from them. Absolutely, Tony. Tony mentioned that, brother, everything's on the phone now. But I do agree with you. We can't stay on it all the time. So, which means that we are the one that's supposed to set up rules and regulations in our houses. Because if we don't set up rules and regulations, whose fault is that? If you have not set rules and regulations at your own houses, then we have a work to do, right? So let's acknowledge that, you know what, something need to be done. Let's all agree that something need to be done somewhere. So until we identify the root cause of the reasons of why all this happening, then there is no way you will fix your lifestyle until you acknowledge that there is some problems that need to be addressed, until you acknowledge that there's some things need to be done, and until you humble yourself and try to identify the problem. You will not know the root cause of it until you identify the problem. You will not fix the issue until you identify the root cause of the problem, right? So all these are linked, they're all linked together. Finding the solution, finding the root cause of it, how to find ideas, and how to break it down. And we all experience all of above in our daily life. The things that we talk about it are the things that we experience and see it in our daily life. But what are the way forward? What needs to be done? That's the questions. It doesn't matter whether you're a janitor or you're a PhD holder or you are just an ordinary person. Raising the children is not easy. Creating or putting rules at your own house, it is not easy. It does not matter whether you are a PhD holder or you're just a janitor. We are all facing the same scenario. We are all facing the same problem. But until you humble yourself, until you're willing to do some change in your life, you're willing to save your relationship between you and your children, then we cannot solve this problem alone or by ourselves. We have to seek help. And the help is we as parents, we have to cooperate together and try to find solution. And the solution is on the table. But not everyone will grab it. Not everyone will look at it. Only few that will look at it. And that's the problem here. Only few will acknowledge that, you know what, I really need help. I can seek help, you know. So let's compromise together and let's try to see how can we solve this. I dropped the link. If you're interested, please come in, tell us your point of view, tell us what needs to be done, tell us whether you agree or you disagree with the topic, especially is it our fault as parents or it is not our fault. So I want to hear from your point of view. I want to hear what do you think. I dropped the link. The link is out there. Wow, that's a very interesting, brother Tony. Tony mentioned that I have children, but I don't give them phone or TV remote because they will be up all night. Of course, when you're allowing them to have the remote, they will for sure stay awake all night. They will be tired whenever they go to school the next day because all night they were on their phone. So the best thing to do is to grab their phone away from them all night until uh, it's time for them to go to school. Because all of us we are doing it different, of course, and that's why your testimony can help your fellow brothers and sisters. When we testify and we see things that are bothering us, things that we need help with it is good to come to this platform and try to address it because your testimony can help your other brother and sister that are facing the same problem. And that's why it's important for parents to acknowledge or to come and discuss those kind of things so that we can find solutions. And if we are the cause of all this, then let's all admit it is parents' fault, right? Then next thing is what can we do next? That's the next thing that we need to ask. What needs to be done next? So now we know that there's a problem, right? We know there's a problem need to be fixed, right? But how can we fix it? How can we fix this issue? The issue of children getting lost, the issue that there's a gap between us and our loved one, the issue that our friends or our closest friend become our devices. So the device that we carry become our friends. I like the idea of Tony Bull mentioned that I have children and I don't allow them to be in the phone, and at the same time, he takes the remote away from them so that they can sleep, so that they can take a rest, so that when they go to school next day, they will be fully awake, right? So when you allow your children to go and sleep or spend night with their phone, guess what? You're causing more problem because they will say that, dad, mom, I can't sleep. And if you sneak in their houses at the middle of the night, you will see them there on their phone or they're watching TV. And then the next day, you will hear from teacher that your child was sleeping in the class. And those are the reasons why your child is sleeping in the class, because during the night they were not sleeping. Rather, they were spending time with their phone, spending time on TV instead of sleeping. A child supposed to sleep at least 9 hours, at least 9 hours a day. But are you allowing your children to sleep 9 hours a day? That's the question. Are you allowing your children to sleep 9 hours a day? 9 to 8 hours. Every child is supposed to sleep at least 9, 8, or even more. Because the more they sleep, it's better for them. They will have a healthy, they will grow up healthy. They will have a good spirit. They will grow up. Their mind will develop in a good way, and they will focus more often in a class because they have slept fully. By being on their phone, my brother Yai, uh, it could it could means a lot. It could means playing games on their phone. It could means talking on their phone. It also means also searching some stuff on network or whatever. It could mean also chatting with their friends. So when you allow your children, you allow them on their phone, it can mean all of above, right? So it means that we have work to do. Allowing your children to spend more time in their phone, eventually, little by little, they will be addicted to their phone. Eventually, little by little, they will rely on their phone more than building relationship between parents and the child. But of course, it is you as parents that are the cause of all this. Because if you set up rules and regulation at your own house, then the child will not go through all this, right? Yes, yeah, that's what I was talking about. So we have to admit that we are the cause of all this. We have to admit and we have to agree that we are the cause of all this problem that happening to our children's, the killings, the suicide, the shooting, is because they are lonely. And yet we are trying to say that our children they lost control. It's not they lost control. It is us as parents. We are the one that have lost control, and now we try to blame it on children. For how long are we going to blame our children with things that supposed to be our fault as parents, supposed to be our mistakes as parents, and yet we are saying children's they lost control. Children they lost control, and yet it is not them; it is us. But who is going to admit that yes, we have wronged our children? Yes, we have done mistakes. After what? If God bless you with more than two children or more than three children, uh, I'm sure you will rejoice and glorify God if they all become successful. And at the same time, there's no guarantee that all three or four of them they will become successful in their life. It depends on their moods, it depends on their attitude, it depends on their hormones, it depends on who are they dealing with, it depends on your relationship between you and your children. Yes, you can save them if you humble yourself and get to know them, like I mentioned earlier. When you get to know them one by one, of course, you can change your life for sure. When you accept to act like them, when you accept to be part of them, but not everyone will accept to humble yourself and be like a child or be like one of your children. There's so many ways when it comes to fixing this problem. Not one way, rather, there's so many ways. It depends on your children, it depends on how do you manage or how do you set up rules at your own house. That's a problem. We all set up rules on our own houses differently. Everyone is different, right? But what can we do? Well, yeah, I say that I wish I can join you on this important topic today, but I'm kind of tired of doing something next time. No problem, brother. There's always next time. And this is, we're doing this for education purpose. Anybody can come in at any time to come and tell us or give us a testimony, whether you become part of it, whether you have seen all this happening, you know, because we all uh, uh, set rules in our own houses differently. Some are easy to work with, especially with our children, and some are very difficult to work with. Mm. We all look at it in different ways. There's some children that are easy to work with, and some are really hard to work with. But until we admit that it's our fault, the children, until we admit that we have wronged our children. But by the way, not all of them become loser. Some of them are really become successful in life. Some of them they become, oh, thank God for that. They become, uh, we really thank God for them for their life. Not all of them, but some of them they become successful, right? So there's only if you do uh, uh, when it comes to percentage, maybe 40% out of 100 are doing well in our community. 40% out of 100 are doing well in our community, but we still have a lot of work, especially the number 60, it's higher than number 40. So, which means if we do work hard to make it 50-50, at least it will sound much better. But when we're doing 40 to 60 or 40 and 60, we all know that there's a lot of work need to be done. And maybe your child is one of them. Maybe one of your child is one of them that needs help. But how can you help them? How can you try to learn the rules and regulations, or how can you learn the tools to help your children? And not everyone have the courage. Not everyone have education to help them. Of course, we acknowledge and we know that education is the key for sure. And there's some people that are not educated, but they're willing to learn verbally. So when we speak, someone out there is taking note. When we speak and talk about those issues, someone out there is learning or is picking up some points that will help you in the near future, especially with your kiddos. And that's why I mentioned that through our testimony and through our dialogue, when we come and talk together, we are going to observe and we are going to come out with things that will help those kiddos. It's not easy. And when you look at it, there's no any way that we can agree on. You know, the Yama way they are back there side to help those kids. No, because not all of them have the same problem, and not all of them are facing the same problem. There's some that are easy to work with, and some that are really hard to work with. It depends on your children, right? So until we identify the cause or the problem, then it's going to be hard for us to fix it. You know your children's one by one. You know how they are facing. You know who they talk to. You know who they're mingling with. You know everything's about your kiddo, each and every one of them. So it means that you are the CEO of your children. And if you want them to become successful in life, it is on you as parents. Sometimes we say that it's because I am a single mom and the father is not present, and that's why this child or that child has no father figure. And yet, you as person, you as single mom or you as single dad, you have not even spent time with your kiddo or with your child, and yet you're complaining, try to throw it on your partner. And that's the problem. Let's not throw and give excuses to one another. That will not take us anywhere. It will not, and that's not the solution, right? Until we identify the problems, then we have not fixed the problem. In the end, that child will be called, that child is a child of so and so, flan and flan. And that name will remain in your life forever. Whether you like it, you don't, it still stick for the rest of your life. So you have to accept the fact that any names, anything that happened, anything they said about you, it is you that will pay the price. I'm talking about the parents. So when we start pointing so and so, I don't think so that's a solution. The solution is to let's agree, both of us, both parents, to make sure that we have saved our children not to fall into temptation over and over and over and over. If one of your child fail, it does not mean that the rest will fail. No, you must focus on the one that is failing or the one that is disturbing you. Because if you fail to fix it, the rest will follow, right? Either save the rest and work on the one that's disturbing you the most. Because you remember in the Bible, there's 100 sheep. When one get lost, the owner did not say, you know what, since it's only one, I will just leave it. It's okay. I still remain with 99. No, he went ahead and looked for the one that's missing to make sure that he have everybody together. So if you have a child that is disturbing, don't say that, you know what, to hell with that child. I still have four that are disciplined. I still have four that are listening to me. No, of course, save the four that you have. Don't ignore the one that you still need to work with it. See what I'm saying? You still need to work on the one that's disturbing you the most. It's very important. But some people say that, you know what, since this one is not listening to me, it's all right. I still have four more. But that's not the case. Work on the one that is have an issue, the one that is missing, the one that is not listening to you. Do something about it. Okay? So let's try to accept that we as parents we have done wrong. You know, let accept that nobody will fix this except us. The question is how. Thank you. The question is how. Until you identify the problem, it's going to be hard for you to fix the problem. Adele, she mentioned good questions, and she said, how? How are we going to fix the problem that our children are facing? If all the children have the same issue, then it will be easy to be fixed, or we'll have ways to fix it. But because all of our children have different problems, or they're facing different problems, then it's going to be hard until you identify the problem first. Until you identify the roots of the problem first, then there's no way for you to find the solution or the answers for the problem. If if you say that it's an alcohol problem, then you will know rehab is rehabilitation is the problem is the answer. Or try to take money from your child because the more they have money, the more they will have access to buy those kind of stuff, right? So to me, until we identify the root cause of the problem, then there's no way we can fix it. You know your child better, and you know what your child's facing. And every child, or each and every one of our children, are facing different problems. And that's the issue here. If they're all facing the same problem, then it will be fixable. And we can find solution. We can call it good. But since they're facing different problem, until we know until we write down the root cause of it, what are they facing exactly? Of course, Adele said that if where is it? Let me put it here. She said if he or she underage, then you can help them. By the way, that's the most difficult things. Working with underage, especially the age of 13. Also, wait a minute, age of 14 all the way to 18, or 14, sorry, 12 all the way to 18 are the most critical age that a child will change at any time, at any moment, especially when they don't see any guardians, especially when they don't see supervisions, especially when they don't see any rules apply at your house. When they don't see all this, then the foundation of the child will be lost. because you have not even identified the problem, especially on that age, on that category. We're talking about age of 12 all the way to 19, sorry, 12 all the way to 18. Until you figure out the problems, especially in that age, get to know your child, not just by name, but by the attitude, the things they go through, their friends, who are they talking to, who are they mingling with, who are they chatting with. All this, all of this apply to each and every one of your children, 12 to 18. I'm talking about this is 6 good years. This is the years that you open your eyes widely and try to know what are they facing. If you fail to spend time with them, I'm talking about 12 to 18, then whatever attitude they will face, it's done. If it's an alcohol, then they will become alcoholic. And when they reach 19, they will get their first ticket. They will face the law. They will face a lot of problem, and they will start getting DUI. They will start going to jail because it is too late for them to be changed. It is too late for them to change, to shift. Why? Because you have not captured them from 12 to 18. And now when your child gets lost, it is done. When your child commits suicide, it is done. When your child go and kill someone, it is done. So now whose fault is that? We're talking earlier that we have to know the difference. We have to know the problem. Are we the problem as parents, or are the children's the problem? See? So those are the things that we have to acknowledge and try to do something about it. See what I'm saying? And the thing here, our children are not the same, huh? Whether it's a boy or a girl, they're different. They're different in terms of their hormones. They're different in terms of the way they grow up. They're different in terms of their friends. Who are their friends? Who are they mingling with? Who are they dealing with? They're all different. They're all different. And that's why I urge you as parents that you must know your child not just by their name, but know them by their attitude. By who are they talking to? Allowing them to spend more time in their phone, that will, you're separating. Now you're going to separate your relationship between you and your children's, eventually will what? Will disappear slowly. And then in the end you will regret that Jama, my child have done this and this and this. And yet into your mashkala. So phone addictions, of course, is out there. Who are we going to blame? That's a good question. Adele, who are we going to blame? And that's a powerful question. Who are we going to blame? Now we have identified the problem. We have seen the problem, and we have seen where the problem come from. So yes, who need to be blamed? If you're working and you have 15-minute break. Okay? And instead of you checking on your children, because even now children nowadays they have phones, right? They have their phones. So instead of you calling each of your children on your 15-minute break, you will go to Facebook and see what's new. You will go to your Facebook and see who is fighting, who is calling who is posting what. Later that you know, you will see your break is over. Yet you have not even checked your children how they're doing. The same thing you will do tomorrow and after tomorrow. So you will be doing the same thing over and over and over and over. So now we can have a good picture on who's the problem. If I'm spending more time with my friends, if I'm spending more time as parents on social media, I have not even give attention to my children to check on them. I have not even give them 2 minutes to get to hear their voice. And yet, because they have their own phones, they're busy with their friends. I don't want to bother them. Because they have their own friends, I don't want to, mess up their day. Let them chill, let them chat with their friends. This 2 minutes that you're supposed to call them, it will take you 3 to 4 years to make it out. The 2 minutes that you have lost. And guess what? You are doing the same thing over and over, over and over, Monday to Friday. If you're working on Saturday, you will do the same thing on Saturday. So now what happened? There's a gap now between you and your child. Now guess what? What happened now? It become like a normal routine. The child will spend more time with his friends or her friends. The child will spend more time on their device, and you are here busy watching what's new, watching shows on social media, and watching other people live, etc. Of course, of course, Chelsea, and that's what I mentioned earlier. You came late, but I talked about it earlier. That our children, you have to engage your children in put them in activities, let them put them to خليهم يلعبوا كورة, basket, volleyball, soccer, whatever sport they like. Keep them busy, and the more you keep them busy, they will not have time to even spend time. They will not have time to go to your phone because now they have routines that they have to follow. They come from school, they take shower, they go to practice, they come back, they take shower, they eat, they do their homework, they go to bed, they're tired. So the schedule will be busy. Whatever crimes, anything that is going around, they will not face it because their schedule is tight. They have so many things that they have to do. They have so many things that they have to catch up with. And this is what I'm talking about. We have to engage with our children, keep them busy in everything they do. The more you keep them busy, the less problem they will face. The more you keep your children busy, the less problem they will face. So now, when we go back to the same questions, whose fault is that? Are we the reasons that our children are getting lost? Are we the reason that our children are lost? Are we the reason that our children they lost respect and all this, or is it them? Who is the problem now? Your children or you? After we talk a lot about these sessions, after reviewing or watching what we talked about, you know, because there's so many people been there for the last hour and a half, you know, and that's what I want to talk about. To be honest, things need to be changed, things need to be shifted, and until we humble ourselves, uh, it's not going to be easy. By the way, it's not going to be easy, but it is you that have the final say. You are the one that have the final say, and you're the one that need to do something about it. I don't know. Yes, we need to search and awareness, my brother. That's true, Chelsea. This awareness is very important. Awareness is the key. Awareness it's the way forward. And there's some things that you know and I don't know. There's some things that one of our friends here knows and will help us if we all humble ourselves and try to look for the root cause and try to solve the problem. You know, and that's what I see from our people. They get lost because of this. I've seen our people are facing problem because of this. You know, the good news is all of us we are all into this. The good news we have seen all this. All of us we went through all this. All of us we have seen all this problem. So you cannot say that you know what, I'm good man. My children are not facing any problem and all this. No, you know. So let's work together. Let's try to uh, identify the problem and try to see what need to be done. You know, things are not going well, but we can do something about it for real. We can try to solve our problems. We can try to see what can we do different in order for us to help those children. You know, things are not uh, easy, but when we try to fix it early, it's better than wait until it's too late. Let's not wait until our problem become worse. Let's try to fix it before it's too late. Uh, of course, nobody's expert. We are all into this. We can change children's life, but it's not going to be easy until we humble ourselves. Until we humble ourselves, then things will go easy and smoothly. So I urge all of you guys that we have to accept that we have wronged our children. We have to accept that it's not too late. We can do U-turn. We have to accept that our children are still growing. There's so many of them that are growing up now, and we can change their life. We can fix anything they're going through. But it's not going to be easy for sure, right? But through 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 you know through our testimony, through our testimony, we can overcome these issues. We can overcome this problem, right? But not everyone will accept to change. Let me tell you this. Not everyone will accept to change until you capture the problem. في عمر أنا قلت لكم ده, from 12 to 18, if you capture the problem and work hard, put all your energy to it, you will fix it. Believe me, you will. But the more you say that, you know what, I will wait. Sanajai Bikun, maybe when she's 13, she will be mature. Don't wait a minute or a second. The more you wait, you're making this problem worse. And you will regret tomorrow that I wish if I have not waited. I wish if I have taken action, then this problem will not go like this. You know, don't ever wait whenever you see a problem. Go and try to fix it. Go try to identify the root cause of it and fix it immediately. Maybe you will not find solution the first day. Maybe you will not find a solution the next day, but never give up. In fact, continue working in that problem. Continue daily on your daily basis. You know, you will see that child as you go with it. Eventually, that child will listen to you. But the more you give up and assume that agenda fashion, the more you are allowing even more doors to come. And then later on, it's going to be hard for you to control it. Now, whose fault is that? It'll become uncontrollable. Whose fault is going to be? And those are the things that we're supposed to look at it. The problem is when you look at it and you ignore it and assume that it is okay, you are making things worse. When you see a problem and you say, well, I will wait tomorrow, she will, tomorrow هيكون wise. No. That's not a solution. That's not a solution. So let's try to do something. Let's try to sit down and try to figure out what needs to be done. And this is the topic that I want to talk about it. It seems like it's a lecture, but believe me, it is. Those are the things that need to be addressed, and I want all of us to rethink again. Let's rethink again. Let's try to do something different and save those children. I know that we have a heart. I know that we want the best for our children. I know that our children are all relies on us, and you must be a heart for your children. You must be an eye for them, because if you do good things, the children will follow you. You know, so if you are the problem that you spend more time in the phone more than your child or more than your children, then let's rethink again. Let's rethink again. We have spent 1 hour and a half. I thank you all. I hope that this session, that we all learn something from it. And I hope that we are going to change and think carefully what needs to be done to save our children. We have a lot of work to do, but with the grace of Almighty God, we are going to overcome all this problem. Until we humble ourselves and accept our guilt, then those children will be lost. But we all accept that we have done wrong or accept our problem, then I believe with the grace of God, we are going to overcome and we are going to have energy to raise our children in peace. It is okay for them to have problems. It's normal for them to go through problems. It is not normal for them to continue the same problem over and over. And this is something that we have to open our eyes. When you see your child is repeating the same mistakes, the same problem over and over, then it means we have work to do. You know your child more than anybody else. You know your child more than yourself. Please go ahead, share it with friends and family. I thank you all. We spent an hour and a half, and this is what I'm trying to address today. Because of the time frame, some people are still at work. We will continue on Thursday with a different topic, inshallah, by the grace of God. Uh, Another thing that I want to mention that I'm thinking to change the time, uh, the show time, but I will write down on the notes there on my Facebook wall with the new hours because when people are at work receive complaint, not for Sudan, for Africa, they want to join, but it is hard for them because of time. When we start at 8:30, it's like 4:30 or 5:30 in Africa. So it's going to be hard for them to join in. So I'm going to work on that. And also, there's some shows that are going around on social media. So what I want to do, a show or two show at the same time, and that's why I'm going to work on that to see if I can switch or change the time to make it early. I'm thinking maybe we can do early show, maybe 11 or 12 o'clock to 4, 12 to 2. That way it's going to be like 8 p.m. in Africa or 7 p.m. and people will still going to be awake. But I don't know, in Australia it's going to be late or it's going to be early morning. So those are the things that I have to think and try to look at the time. What time is going to work better for all of us. I want to make sure that people in Africa they can join in, people in Australia, in Europe they can join in. But the time frame that I have to think and make sure that this time will work for all of us. Thank you all. I will update you guys with the new change. Maybe not this Thursday, maybe starting next week, but we'll see what's going to happen. I thank you all. Please share it with friends and family. Shalom, shalom. Until we meet again, inshallah, on Thursday. Share it with friends and family. Bless. Go ahead, share it.